I was once round at a friend's house and we were having a good old chinwag where I suddenly noticed, and I'd not seen this before, there was a glitter ball hanging from the ceiling. So I asked him, "Why have you got a glitter ball hanging from your ceiling?" To which he replied, "Everybody should have a glitter ball hanging from their ceiling," and proceeded to turn it on. And as the room filled with sparkles, I exclaimed to myself, I have to have an answer to this. So, what do you get when you take two oscillators, a lunchbox, a pinch of LEDs, and an 8-stage shift register? You put that lot together, you get a disco light. The whole thing runs on 5 volts, which is the same as USB. So if you stick a USB battery in it, you can take it anywhere. You can even use it in the jungle. It's ace. So what's this got to do with clockmaking? I sense you ponder. Well, actually, rather a lot. You see, every clock I've made so far, not only does it tell the time, but has within its happiness, where happiness is a slowly changing blend of lights showing off the electronics inside. And when there's nobody around to wonder what time it is, the clock falls asleep and all these lights turn off. Now, in the case of the last clock I made, the Riverside timepiece, when that clock falls asleep, these lights turn off slowly. And there was comment made about this at the time, so I rubbed my chin and I said, hold my beer. So, a briefing on the next clock, where the next clock is something of a departure from the previous clocks I've made so far, is they've all used these off-the-shelf parts, these 7-segment displays for the clock face, the clock numbers. But for this next clock I'm making, that's going to be using numbers closely based on a typeface originally produced by John Baskerville in the 18th century. And I first came across, really noticed these numbers, this typeface, in this book, Henry Root's World of Knowledge, where I came across this while on patrol in a local charity shop. And on close inspection of these numbers, I was inexplicably attracted to them, so I've obviously having to make a clock with them. And to do that, you take the numbers from 0 to 9, you place them on top of each other, and then you trace around each of the numbers with a series of lights, so as a group, when you turn on an individual set of lights, an individual number will appear. And if you reproduce this design 4 times, you get a clock face. Now, the lights that I'm using for this are small. They are the smallest LED I can neatly solder, 60 by 30 thousandths of an inch. Here there's a photo of 4 of them grouped, loitering around a single grain of brown sugar, placed there for scale. And I need some sort of circuit board to attach all these lights to. So from my designs, I've had some circuit boards manufactured, including some duplicates which I can use, which I have used for producing some prototype numbers. Here is a number 1 and a number 11. And while on the subject of circuit boards, I have to say a super ultra massive big thank you to Dave. He's the lead engineer at Advent Instruments over in Canada, who gave some assistance with this design work on the display board. And without his input, things would have been a lot more difficult, so thank you for that. Now, this is the 4th clock that I'm working on, so therefore it is to be themed of the 4th season, autumn, and it shall be known as the November Timepiece. So this clock will be many an autumn colour, no less the display, which will be the colours of a November sunrise or sunset if you are facing that direction. And so also the happiness of this clock will also have a November theme. So there will be many reds and ambers and oranges in there, but no browns. Why do you never see brown LEDs? Why is that? There'll be some yellow ones in there. And also when this clock goes to sleep, the lights in this, the happiness lights, will go out very slowly over a couple of minutes, as if to extinguish like a fire going out, which is also a nod to bonfire night, another November thing. I'm not sure how John Baskerville would feel about being bedfellows with Guy Fawkes, but I endeavoured to make their chambers beautiful nonetheless. And so to do this, I have to build a test circuit for this slow turn-off arrangement and all these autumn lights. And the only way to do this is to build a practical circuit, a working circuit. So I've obviously had to make another disco light. I've got more than one of them now. And so, to give for those electronically interested, here's the diagram of how you get a voltage to fall to decay very slowly. It's a merry feedback dance between a voltage comparator and a regulator, such is the joy of analogue electronics. And so, remains for me to say that the November Timepiece is still in its early stages, and yet I predict there can't be many a timepiece in the cosmos whose design and development has spawned a disco light. So therefore, watch this space.